Okay, that was interesting.
Black Swan Media Studios, deep inside a secret underground bunker. We're speaking to freedom-loving patriots from all around the country and the world. Welcome to the Resistance. This is John Crump, live.
I hope I sent out the right invite here because I'm not seeing my guest on, and I'm not seeing anyone on. Rich isn't here either, so hopefully I have the right one. I'm just double checking here to make sure I do have the right link that was sent out to everyone here. So just bear with me. Oh, never mind. Okay, we are on. Okay. We are on. My co-host Rich is having some power issues. We're jumping right into this. But before we get to our guest, Wren Williams, I just want to say that we are brought to you by Test. Test is a cryptocurrency and the number one cryptocurrency that is focused on the firearms market.
Proudly sponsored by TUSC, the only cryptocurrency designed with the firearms market in mind, with 3-second processing times. It's the fastest cryptocurrency on the planet. With lower transaction fees than traditional credit cards. It's perfect for your e-commerce needs. For gun guys, by gun guys. Visit TUSC.network for more information and join the digital revolution.
And how could I forget Black Swan Tactical, our other sponsor of the day, Black Swan Tactical, where you can get your t-shirts, hats, mugs, and more. You can get stuff like this, the 2A EDU patch, and everything else that they sell there.
Black Swan Tactical, your number one source for 2A streetwear. With shirts, mugs, hats, patches, flags, and more. There's always something to help you rep the 2A community. All proceeds go back into our projects. Viewers and listeners can take an additional 10% off with code CRUMPY. Unapologetically pro-gun, pro-liberty, and pro-freedom gear for the front lines of the culture war.
And we are joined by my co-host, Flying Rich.
My no power co-host.
He powered out. And we are also joined by a man that has the GOA endorsement for the seat that he is fighting to win to keep make Virginia more pro-gun.
I'm glad your seat is endorsed.
Yes, I'm very excited about that, actually.
Yeah. Okay. So let's jump right into it. Wren, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So I'm Wren Williams. I'm 32 years old. I grew up in Patrick County, Virginia. It's sort of southwestern Virginia, in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. And
totally different from where I'm from.
Yeah. And so a lot of rural areas, a lot of hunters. And so a lot of gun owners, big advocate for Second Amendment. And I am now a lawyer. My wife and I, we own a law firm together. She is also a lawyer. And over the past several years, I've gotten heavily involved in my local government. And so once that I started bumping my head against the ceiling on how I could help them, I decided to run for state office. I won my primary in June and hope to win my seat in November. And I'm glad to be with you guys. And I really appreciate the Gun Owners of America endorsement, because those are not a dime a dozen, and they are few and far between. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we definitely are. I am from a different part of Virginia. I'm from like the northern part, aka occupied territory by the anti-gunners. But we're fighting to take back Virginia. Do you think that we will be able to flip enough seats or take back the governor's mansion to be able to block more gun control from coming down in Virginia?
I'm feeling much better in the last few weeks than I was 6-8 weeks ago. 6-8 weeks ago, I would have given you the answer of like, well, within the margin of error, it's going to be a crazy ride. But now all the polling, we're tied. Jason Miyares is in the lead as an AG race. There was an article today about Winsome Sears and her opponent and them sort of duking it out. So I think the Democrats are very concerned. And if you look at the spending and how early the spending has been on television ads, VPAP, Virginia Public Access Project, they put out a lot of information about how much spending is happening on political campaigns, and basically those top 6 races or 6 House seats that need to be flipped are already on television and in the mailboxes, and it's only September. That's because early voting is right around the corner.
Yeah, early voting starts out. When does that start out? End of this month, right?
September 17th. It's Monday through Friday. Some jurisdictions, they'll have Saturday and Sunday available. In my jurisdiction, it'll be Monday through Friday and the last 2 Saturdays before the election day, September 17th through November 2nd, election day.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like 45 days of get out the vote. It's very strange. So like I've been encouraging people to actually go ahead and vote because number one, that secures and protects your vote. Nobody can go and vote for you. And then number 2, it really gives you the opportunity to say, okay, my vote's in. Now all I have to do is go get everybody and their cousin to go vote as well. So it's like a 45-day knock and drag opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, early voting, I'm not on board with it too much. I believe that if you can't make time to go vote on election day, they shouldn't make it easier on you. I mean,
well,
right.
I'll give you 2 points of view on that, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. One, I used to work in Manhattan, live on Long Island, and I almost would have to either not go to work or take half a day to go vote. And I used to consult, I'd be out of state for, maybe a month or more at a time before I came back. So some expanded voting, I think, is good. 45 days, I think, is ridiculous.
That's how I am. 45 days is too long.
yeah, I mean, I think that is kind of ridiculous. All right, so who is your opponent?
Her name is Bridget Craighead. She lives in Rocky Mount. She's a 30-year-old single mom who founded Black Lives Matter and is advocating for defunding the police and other very liberal policies that don't fit very well in this district.
What do you think your chances of winning?
Well, some people have said, traditionally Republicans pull about 70% here, but I know that the Democrats who know her and the independents who know her don't feel like she's very competent to represent them in Richmond, and they're actually planning to vote for me.
Well, that is definitely good. How did she get the nomination?
Well, when you're the only person to file the paperwork, sometimes they have to decide whether or not they're going to accept you as their nominee. 2 years ago, I remember 2 years ago, one person filed to be the Democratic nominee, and the Democratic Party down here, they just didn't even accept his paperwork. They said nope, and they did not allow him to file with him. So he ran independent, which I thought that was pretty humorous. Like, you can't even get the Democratic Party to let you run as a D on their ballot.
So the district you're running in, is it R plus what?
It'd be probably considered R plus 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you get... Go ahead, Rich.
So for those that don't understand political talk, R plus some number means that's the percentage in favor that vote Republican.
Yeah. I think Wren has a pretty damn good chance of winning, which will help us out because he scored a perfect on the GOA survey. I scored it myself. So
the GOA survey, is it I heart guns and boom, that's it? What?
No, it's basically, do you believe in any infringement. You know, it goes through different things like do you believe in pitting back the preemption law to prevent local gun control places from local localities from making their own gun control? Or what another one is, do you support constitutional carry? Do you support the
flag laws.
NFA? Stuff like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I appreciate it. It was a great survey, and I really appreciated the recent interview that we did because nobody has ever asked me what my unicorn gun is, and I was very glad to get to talk about it.
Oh,
Yeah, tell
what
everyone-
is your unicorn gun?
So years ago I bought a AR-15 Smith & Wesson MP-15 in 5.45 by 39 because it was like pretty cheap ammo, and I got like a 2,000 round crate, and
Not
and
anymore.
I always thought, yeah. So I've got it, and I've still got a lot of ammo, but I've always thought it'd be nice to have an AK-74U Krinkov to go with it, and then to have them sort of in the same chamber. So that was what I was wanting to do. So, but they're very difficult to find, and I am not I'm not a gunsmith. I just could not build a weapon myself.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know there were AR platforms in 5.45.
there's
This
AR
one's
platforms and
chambered
everything.
in 5.4. Yeah.
Yeah, I was shooting a Krinkov like 2 months ago, fully automatic, just dumping mags.
So,
Yeah,
John,
I
what's
just
your
think they're
unicorn
so-
gun?
My unicorn gun is a Stinger, also known as a Franken gun, which it's basically it's a it's a bunch of different guns mixed together. But imagine carrying a like a mounted machine gun that you can like shoulder, basically.
Mhm.
You know, it's like a BAR mixed with the Grand, mixed with a M2. It's a
Mhm.
pretty badass.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm pretty conventional.
I guess, nobody asked me what my favorite gun was that I have. I do have
Oh,
a
okay.
Wren that I got down from the Civil Defense League, or not that. I'm sorry. There's that group that you can join out of. There's two places, Ohio. And
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think
Yeah,
you're breaking
so
up
I
there a
was
little
able
bit,
to take
Wren. The CMP guns.
So I was able to get one of those, and I just love it. Yeah, and it just shoots so clean. It is just the smoothest shot.
Nice.
Yeah, here it is. It's a Browning 1919 with a bar stock and a bipod and a carry handle from another machine gun.
Yeah, I'm guessing my unicorn gun's probably the PS90 because it's highly impractical, but cool.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting a one of the Ruger 5.7s.
Oh, I got one. I have the Little Mo optic on it, so it's real nice.
They got them at sell at PSA.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's the pricing on that right now?
I would have to look again.
You don't have it memorized, John? I thought you had that brain going.
No, I'm tired.
I
fell asleep on my couch. No, I haven't read an article like all this week, to tell you the truth. I'm just lacking.
It's like, don't remind me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so behind. No, I've just this weekend was just so busy with GOA type stuff that I finally had a chance to leave my head down for a little bit. And I went out.
Wren, what? How much work? What is it like campaigning? The job of campaigning. So,
Yes.
Is it kissing babies and going to gun shows? What are you doing?
I have a pretty funny story about the kissing babies, right? So that's kind of a traditional or something that you would sort of make fun of, right? About pull. One time I was standing this big army tank, or not, and there was two National Guards members, and I was like, "Hey, do you mind if I take my picture with you guys in front of this tank?" And this couple next to him goes, do you need a baby? And they just shoved a baby out. And one of the national, like I was like, okay, sure. But what I have been doing is really reaching out to community and meeting people and see and talking about like we try to like I just distiller here in Franklin County. Franklin is traditionally known as a big moonshining area, and now with legal moonshine, there are still some regulations that are really holding back growth. And I was like, where are your pinch points? What are your issues? How can I help with that? And so I just visited with them and we talked about that. And then and so I think they've got some things that I can help with easily.
Cool.
So did you get to sample any of the moonshine?
Oh yeah, they had some very good. It's called Twin Creeks Distillery, and I had some very good apple. What do they call it? Apple. It's a traditional moonshine drink. Apple pie. It's kind of like a cinnamon apple pie taste.
Oh, that's interesting.
I just had a little bit. They can't overserve at distilleries. They're limited to 3 ounces per person because they're not a bar. They're not a bar. They're just this tasting room. Because
that's where you have the mustache, the fake mustache, and you come back.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But if they were a bar, they'd have to abide by the food rules. So.
Yeah, it's like in Halloween, Halloween when you're a little kid and you would just go home and change costumes to go back out and get more candy.
Yeah,
that's
so you can hit the same house again. You do that, except at the moonshine place. I've never tried moonshine.
Well, we've got several legal distilleries down here, all good people, and you can go on a little moonshine trail across the district.
Well, that old show, Moonshiners, that was filmed in Virginia. A lot of it was.
Yeah, and I think that show, Lawless, or that movie Lawless, that was about this neck of the woods, if you will.
Oh, I haven't seen that. What is that about?
It's about moonshiners, and it's about a family, and it's sort of a Hatfield and McCoy story. But Hatfield and McCoy's, I believe, were more West Virginia, and this was more it was a county road, or county line family feud. It wasn't but it's got Shia LaBeouf and that Ford actor. I can't remember his name, but it's pretty good. We like to quote it in our family because one guy just basically grunts all the time in a very like Appalachian style grunt. Just like,
yeah. Yeah, Appalachia is not what it used to be.
Yeah.
So when you get to Richmond, I'm going to assume that you're going to win because you have my endorsement and the endorsement of GOA.
That's right.
And I'm putting a lot of weight on my own endorsement. So when you get to Richmond, how are you planning on fighting back for gun rights?
Yeah, so it always depends on what the landscape's going to be. So if we take back the majority, right, in the House, which I feel good about, then we can, introduce all kinds of legislation that can help, basically overturn all these anti-gun laws that have been passed by the Democrats over the past 2 years. And we actually have some pretty reasonable pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment Democratic senators. But you have to bring them bills that work, and then they won't get in trouble with their majority party. So we'd have to present them appropriately, but this is all assuming that we've got the majority as in the House. Because if we can do that, then I think we can get it through the House, through the Senate, and then straight to Glenn Youngkin's desk. Let's say Youngkin doesn't win, then McAuliffe would veto. So we're probably more in a stalemate, and we'll have to wait until, a few years down the road to keep pushing back and making headway. But at least we can stop the bleeding. But the real question is going to be, what if we don't win the House? What if what if McAuliffe wins the governor's race? That is the troublesome part. And how can I work across party aisles to try to shine some light on some of these things that the Democrats are creating real issues with. John brought up the localities making gun laws. That is creating a very problematic patchwork of gun laws across Virginia that citizens are getting very confused by. So I think reasonable human beings would say, like, stop doing this. It's causing more problems than it's helping. But I might not be dealing with reasonable human beings. And I've heard that the House is very, very party lines right now. So essentially anything that a Republican is doing, you're going to have Republican support for, because the Democrats are going to boot it down, even if it's a good bill.
Yeah, I've heard that the House is looking better than what it was a few months ago.
Yeah.
For
I
Republicans.
feel really good about. I feel really, really good about the 12th district. Jason Ballard's race against Chris Hurst. Chris Hurst is not well loved in that district. He's not from that area. Jason Ballard is from that area. Is coming off very strong as a good conservative local public servant. Served, I think, 2 tours in Iraq, Afghanistan, and he's been on town council, his local town council. He's got 3 boys, his wife. He coaches every single sport that his boys play. Like, he's just a really down home American statesman. And like, Chris Hurst has got baggage. And so I said that the road to the majority runs through that must win 12th district House seat. And I think we'll take it. So it's more of the East Coast.
Nice.
It's the eastern side of the state that we're going to have to be working on. Northern and eastern side of the state, like Otto Waxman and Tanya Gold, and we got to keep Roxanne Robinson. So that we got work to do, but we're certainly moving in the right direction. And I really feel like the independents are breaking our way because they're so sick of the Democrats pushing so far to the left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right with that. I've seen that. I've seen that firsthand. That it looks like that. Well, at least by looking at the different races, at least. So I believe that you're right, that it is breaking our way for the pro-gun side. Rich is from Florida, and they have an issue not with the Democrats, but with the anti-gun Republicans.
With the rhinos, yeah. Well,
Really?
So my congressman, he's been on TV a lot lately. He used to come to our Tea Party meetings before he got elected. Brian Mast, if you watched Fox News this weekend, you saw him everywhere.
Yeah.
And Brian was like, yeah, I'm a gun guy. Want to go to the range with me? We'll go shoot together. And I'm like, nah, I don't have to go shoot with you. I, shoot with real cool people, and I don't need to shoot with you. Not that you're not a cool person. And so he has a hoplophobic, wealthy Republican donor that, just doesn't like semi-automatics. So he's put his name on bills to eliminate semi-automatics. So he gets the green and gets reelected.
Yeah.
Luckily in Virginia, we don't have that problem really with the Republicans. Most of the Republicans are very good on guns in Virginia.
But my congressman and our state elected officials, they're pretty big rhinos as far as 2A goes.
I think the biggest thing that we struggle with is the red flag laws.
Same here.
I'd say that is the break, or the schism, but in the party where some are going to hold firm and say no, and then others are going to be like, oh, it's a good idea, because they're in the more purple.
And I think there's better solutions. We just had Hold My Guns on the show yesterday. And I think that's a fantastic idea. The ability, I'm going through some stuff right now. Let me bring my guns to the FFL, let them storm for free, or for whatever it may be.
Yeah, taking the government out of it.
Self-policing, basically.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we still have in this area. I like to talk about one of my communities. So I do a lot of work because I'm a lawyer. One of our communities, there's this one area Like, I never get a single client from that area. I'm like, how do you guys stay out of trouble all the time? And they're like, we handle it ourselves. So I'm sure there's still the idea of like, so-and-so's acting nuts. Somebody go take his shotgun and keep it away from him. I mean, that happens. They don't call the cops immediately.
Well, where you live at, I see that happening a lot. Your area is very self-sufficient when it comes to things like that,
Yeah.
Which is great. It's a great thing.
Yeah.
I just wish more areas were like that, because when you're your brother's keeper, it actually means something.
Yeah. So, Wren, I got 3 questions for you. Have you ever competed in a Michael Jackson dance contest?
What the hell, Rich?
I am not able to. I am not able to moonwalk. I have never worn blackface, and I've also not donned a Klan hood.
You got all 3 of them.
Oh,
John didn't get it.
our wonderful and illustrious governor.
That's right. Since the bar is so low nowadays.
How can you survive that?
And so the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the AG all confessed or self-outed.
Yeah.
And probably the best was the governor was like, he's mentioned moonwalking, and he looked at his wife, and she's like, "You do that, I'm killing you."
That's right. He was
That
like,
was the
let's
best.
not do this. It's like, why did that pop into your mind? Like, maybe I should do that. Everybody likes being a woman. Like, you're the governor. You're the governor of Virginia. This is the biggest scandal of your entire life. People like the entire Democratic Party is calling for your resignation, and you're like, you know what I should do? Moonwalk.
Let me go moonwalk across the stage.
I got to prove.
Yeah, that's the frustrating part, though, the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party and the left, because now you got people, out there advocating for Mark Herring, who came out and said, oh, by the way, I've also got some pictures in blackface. I hope they aren't found, but let's just go ahead and throw that out there. And then nobody said anything about it because Northam had already been forgiven.
Yeah, well, he'll probably like, man, I'm going to get this out there before they forget about him.
Right. That's what they say the brilliance of Obama is that he wrote 2 autobiographies. Well, really, he wrote one, and Bill Ayers wrote the other. But that he outed, drug use, pot smoking, whatever. And nobody read the book either because nobody knew anything. But the other thing that I'm kind of shocked at, and I did have a 2-year contract working for Andrew Cuomo's cabinet. I didn't work with him,
right?
But I did IT work in Albany for 2 years.
Hey, Rich.
You're
fired. All right, I got a new position for a co-host.
That's funny.
If John doesn't do that once a day, but I'm kind of shocked.
I just paid you yesterday, so.
I
gotta wait till that runs out, then I'll fire you.
But I'm shocked that he dropped out. That he finally all right, I'm out.
You know what I think happened, and this is just pure speculation. I think Chris Cuomo, his brother, was like, "You gotta take this one. You're done because they're coming after me now." And he didn't want to deal with that. Even Chris's brother.
Yeah.
I love.
They started sort of digging into Chris a little bit, and I was like, like I wonder if he's like, you got to fall on this sword. You're done.
Yeah, I love how he went on vacation right after his brother's scandal.
It was a planned vacation. There was no question. It was definitely planned. It was
sure it was.
100. It was. I read it on Snopes. It was true. Snopes said it was true.
That's right.
You know how I know when crap is true? When it says fact check, missing context. Like, must be right.
That's right.
I sent John one today. I don't know if you read it, but
yeah, I read it.
I like when they're like, we've left $800 million worth of equipment in Afghanistan, and they're like, actually, that's not true. It's only $779.6 million. And I'm like, okay. Get out of here.
Well, I don't know if you saw on the news in Afghanistan, they were complaining that the helicopters that were left behind didn't work.
Oh, why didn't you leave us working ones? We didn't want to leave you anything. I think we didn't want to leave them anything.
I think Biden just woke up in the middle of the night and had one of his senior moments and said, "Let's leave."
No. It's kind of like in my 20s, I had brief moments of sobriety. I think he has, decades-long senior moments and maybe momentary lapses of, cognitive functionality.
Yeah.
So the only thing about Afghanistan that I think we missed an opportunity on is if we had a couple of A-10s ready when they're having the parade with all the equipment lined up going down the street, could have fixed that problem in no time.
Yeah, we could have. That would have been nice. I would have really liked to see that.
I would have liked to heard it.
I love
So
A10s.
they say the first time you fire a gun in the A10, it scares you so much you let off the trigger immediately.
Yeah.
Well, the whole damn thing is when they designed the A10, they had the gun and said, "Let's build a plane around this." So that's basically a flying gun.
Yep.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. The design, it was designed by Fairchild on Long Island.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is the gun. We need to build a plane around it.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive gear out there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would love just to let it go just one time, just like see what
I forget how many seconds of ammo that has because the gun fires so rapidly and you have so few rounds on board. I think you got like 30 seconds worth of ammo.
Yeah, but it's the most expensive 30 seconds you ever spent. Yeah, I mean, that thing is badass. Yeah, I was watching videos from Afghanistan during the war when they had the Taliban up in the mountains. They're fighting the Taliban, and they called in the A-10. And the A-10 just started strafing the hell out of the side of the mountain, and the mountain just looked like it was just like dust.
Do you know if the brass and the shells, do they fall on the inside of the plane or do they fall out below it?
I don't know. Rich is the pilot.
Yeah, I don't know that they keep the brass, but I know. So Burt Rutan designed what was supposed to be a successor for the A-10. And the plane was designed asymmetrically, and the gun was one side, and the thrust line of the engine was the other. So actually, while it was firing, it would fly symmetrically, and the exhaust from the gun, from the just the ammo, would choke the engine. So the inlet is on the other side of the plane. So you actually have to figure all of those things out. Because you could choke out the engine with all of the smoke from the gun.
That's pretty interesting.
I thought it was pretty neat. I don't know what it was. I was watching some on History Channel or something, and it talked about the guns on those early World War II fighters that had a interrupter in the gun, and that's why it kind of made that noise, like that, because
when you're firing through the propeller.
Yeah, when you're firing through the propeller, that brief interruption was when the propeller was going through because they were shooting their own propellers off. Right.
Yeah, I wonder who figured that out. I mean, the shooting the propeller off. Did you actually like? Yeah, don't worry, go fly and shoot through the prop. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being on the ground? You're the guy that designed it. You just like, whoops.
Yeah.
the plane falls out of the sky. It's probably like, yeah, we have to think this over a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, that's yeah, I love the A-10. I love World War II planes. I actually have an AR by Sharps Brothers. It's called the Hellbreaker. and it's based on a World War II plane. The P-40, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So yeah, so like the you know the P-40, you know how they had the Warhawk, they got the mouth on it.
Yeah, the Flying
That's
Tigers.
actually that's actually cut into the lower.
Oh, cool.
So it looks really cool. That's on my side charging AR with my Franklin Armory binary trigger, which is kind of cool. So you have an AR in 545, which to AEDUs out there, he's gonna absolutely love you. This is kind of he's like the biggest, one of the biggest AK guys on YouTube. But
Yeah.
this is kind of getting into national politics. Biden's ban on Russian ammunition, which basically gonna make 545 extinct.
Yeah.
Just went through yesterday. What do you think of that?
Well, you know, I'm not a big fan of banning different things. For instance, I think like you know, that free trade and commerce is always a big important deal, and you shouldn't be implementing bans on different things like that. And this is probably less about like Russia and more about like us gun owners who want to take advantage of cheaper ammo and be able to do what we want to do. It feels like they're trying to do an end run on like gun ownership by making it too expensive to actually like enjoy your firearms. You know, that seems to be like what the goal is, and why they're kind of going after the manufacturers and the what we run through our chambers.
Yeah, they definitely are. They definitely are. It's not about a guy being poisoned. I mean, I think that there should be repercussions to the guy being poisoned, but what they chose was an excuse. It wasn't what it is. If they wanted to hurt Russia, they would put sanctions on, I don't know,
pipeline.
oil, pipeline, stuff like that. Not something that makes up
Yeah.
less than 1% of the economy,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they're just like laughing at us.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I feel like the whole world is laughing at us right now.
Yeah, because we have dumb and dumber running the country.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
There you go. That is our leader. The guy that complains.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
The guy that complains about people named Corn Pop.
Corn Pop. I forget. The hairs on my legs stood up, and they used to play with my hairs.
Oh man! And by the way, you know, I got hairy legs.
There you go.
There it is. Well,
I got my Biden soundboard.
If we're gonna do Biden gaffes, let's go back to my favorite Biden gaffe, where he tells Jill, Dr. Biden, to just go out on the front porch, fire off 2 rounds in the air, and that'll scare them off.
And your double barrel shotgun and have 2 empty chambers. Yep.
That's not what you do, Joe.
Well, didn't he say also to shoot through the door?
Shoot through the door.
Oh, I don't remember that one, but
yeah. He said just shoot through the door. It's like, well, that's a good way to kill your kids. It's like, what is this guy talking about?
Yeah.
It's I have no idea. I don't think he knows what he's talking about a lot of times.
All men and women created by the go. You know the thing.
He's just ridiculous. That's why I got a soundboard of everything not everything, because that would be insane.
Well, at least we don't have any more mean tweets.
Yeah.
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it? Keep yapping.
Keep it. Yeah.
So somehow my in-laws lost the sticker on their car that says "My dog is smarter than your president." I think I need to ask my father-in-law for that.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, those Biden signs started coming down real quick right around Afghanistan.
I got a Trump flag still in front of my house.
Yeah, me too.
And my
Yeah.
neighbor changed his Trump flag from "Don't blame me, I voted for Trump."
Yes.
So yeah, I don't think it would have mattered how many people voted. They would have found it.
He would
The
have
middle.
got twice the most votes ever if, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Wren, any cause for concern about voter fraud other than the
In
45
Virginia.
days?
Well, have you seen the California recall?
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw something about them losing power and.
Okay, so here's the crazy thing about the California recall. It's a complete mess over there, and it's coming up very soon. But I've seen stories on Twitter and different things where people are like posting their photos of official ballots being mailed to them in different states like Georgia, New York. And they haven't lived in California in years. So
Oh.
no telling how many they've sent out. And if you go around and just collect them and return them, like for instance, I live in a rental home. A lot of people, I still get their mail,
Mhm.
and so if I get 4 or 5 of those and I were to fill them out and send them back, that's illegal. But those
Yep.
votes get counted, you know.
Well, is there a signature check? How does that? Or we're
I
talking
don't
California right now.
in California. So here's the crazy thing in Virginia. In Virginia, on absentee ballots, you no longer need a witness's signature. So you can request your absentee ballot. You can then open it up, fill it out, put it back together, sign it, and send it back in. So can, George, your neighbor, for whoever
Mm-hmm.
he
Mm-hmm.
wants because he found your absentee ballot in his mailbox, not yours, because the mailman made a mistake that day. It's
Sure.
completely out of control at this time.
Yeah, well, if you
And
look at
and
the Nick Freitas, for example, he
Mhm,
was winning until the next day when they found a flash drive of the woman's, like one of the campaign workers, the major campaign workers, Spanberger, one of the people on her staff's husband, found the flash drive
yeah.
that had enough votes to put her over the top.
And why was he even involved in the process in the first place? The husband
Exactly.
of Spanberger. But another issue that I'm concerned about, and this happened in the November 2020 election, is when people show up at the polls on election day, and they're told you've already voted because there's no more photo ID in Virginia. So if I go
Mm-hmm.
if I
Oh.
want, yeah, so like if somebody has passed away, or like, let's say you lose your grandfather recently and you want to show up and vote for him, like you can do that. And there's nothing that anybody can do to stop you unless they know, like, no, somebody's going to know my face. But you don't know everybody, and it's not great. It's a good situation right now in Virginia.
Yeah, but there's no such thing as voter fraud.
No, in Chicago, I forget how many people over 100
Right.
vote on a
Right.
regular basis.
Yeah, I found
Yeah.
87 people. I found 87 people in Philadelphia voted, and they were all over the age of 115. And there's only like one person over the age of 115. And I was like, I can show you the vote. Like they're like, that's called like an octogenarian or something. And it's like very limited circumstances. And I was like, okay, now that we figured out that like there is voter fraud, like how much is acceptable for you? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if you guys
Mm-hmm.
knew this, but I was on the Wisconsin Trump versus Biden state recount. So I helped with that election litigation, and it was incredibly interesting how much cheating went on. Just straight up did not care about the rules. Like there were laws on the books, they didn't follow them at all, and they blamed it on COVID. Like 54,000 people voted, no ID shown whatsoever. They just called in, they said, or they went online, they said, I've got COVID, I need to vote. And they sent them an absentee ballot to send back and vote. never once showed them an ID or anything.
Hmm.
And 17,000
Imagine that.
people. The difference in Wisconsin, 17,000 votes. 54,000 people said that they were indefinitely confined because of COVID. We found a bunch of these people at weddings. One lady was a poll worker on election day. She's not indefinitely confined. She's not indefinitely confined, and later the Wisconsin Supreme Court said you cannot use COVID as indefinitely confined, but we're not going to throw out these 54,000 votes. You just can't do it next year.
Right.
Imagine that. You could have cheated. You cheated, but that's okay. Just don't cheat.
You cheated in one? Okay.
That's right. Don't cheat again.
Yeah.
This is your warning. How does that even work?
Yeah.
I mean,
And
it's
it really
ridiculous.
happened across the country. Yeah, it's very, from the conversations that I had with other attorneys in these other states, like it was very rampant. It was like some different smaller, like we had about 4,000 people. It was like a smaller issue, but still that's 4,000 votes, that this is impacted, and those votes were illegal.
Yeah. I mean, it really is. Yeah, in Philadelphia, Will Smith's dad voted for Biden, and he's been dead for years. Well, when you really want to vote, you got to rate. It's like zombies. Today's episode of What If on Marvel was Marvel zombies. Maybe it's like voting zombies. Oh wait, that's all Democrats. Oh, sorry.
You got to get the line from Bob Hope on your soundboard. When they talk about zombies, he's like, and after the guy describes zombies, he's like, "Oh, you mean Democrats?"
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, I don't know. I think you're definitely gonna win your election. I think I get a good feeling about Youngkin. I think Youngkin might win. The Senate, no one in the Senate's up for election this time. So
Right.
But there are some.
What would be neat is if Winsome Sears wins, she could be our tiebreaker in the Senate, which would be nice if we have some Democrats break our way.
Chap Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
Is one that comes to mind. But like, not all Virginia Democrats in the Senate are like so anti-gun. But there are some in this. No Democrat in the House is going to vote for guns right now. That's why it's important that we take back the House delegates. The Senate, there are some that we can flip. And if we get the governor's mansion, we can roll back some of the damage that has been done. But I think that we did a good job of gun owners of preventing a lot of the really bad legislation from getting through.
I agree with that. There was a lot that was like right on the bubble, and we made so much noise that they just dropped it at sort of the last hour.
Yeah, that's what happens when you surround the Capitol with tens of thousands of heavily armed people.
Mm-hmm.
John was there.
I was there, yeah. I was definitely there.
I brought 2 buses of folks.
Cool.
That is very nice, yeah. That was a great day. I would not forget that. One of my favorite days of being a gun rights advocate was that day.
Mm-hmm. And we left it spotless. That was impressive, because I remember leaving and everybody was like, "Clean up, everybody clean up," because they didn't leave us any trash cans or anything because it was a safety concern. But we were like, we're not going to let them treat us like and take pictures like they leave beaches and stuff like that when they leave.
I love seeing the Earth Day celebrations and all the trash left behind.
That's right. Yeah.
No, they wouldn't do that on Earth Day celebrations. Rich, what are you talking about?
I've seen the photos.
You mean it's just not for them? You mean maybe they... I'm so confused right now. I have no idea. I'm just so tired. I've had a long weekend. Yeah. Maybe don't care about the environment and they're doing it just a virtue signal.
Could be.
Just saying. I could be wrong on that, but I'm not. Yeah. So, wrapping up here, tell everyone what they can do to help you win and the other Republicans to win in the state.
Yeah, one of the big things that I've been doing is raising money so that we can get our message out and talk to voters, hit their mailboxes, see them on television. So if anybody would like to help us take back Virginia, you can donate to my campaign at wrenwilliamsva.com, and it's WREN WilliamsVA.com. And if you want, you could probably send a note or email and designate hey, share this with so and so, and I'd be glad to do that.
John, you're not. I think John hit the wrong button on his soundboard because his boom mic went out just before.
No, I have no idea what happened. Somehow it muted itself on the StreamYard side.
If you say so.
All right, Rich.
It was an operator error.
You're going to get fired twice today?
Yep. Twice. 3 times.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to wrap up a little bit early because tomorrow I have a back to school thing, so we're not going to be broadcasting tomorrow because I'll be meeting with my son's teacher. My son will not go to Loudoun County schools because Loudoun County schools are insane right now. They're ground zero. Ben Carson actually spoke here. Speaking on the radio about Loudoun County schools this morning.
Wow.
So he goes to a private school, and it's back to school night tomorrow. But I did want to do a little wrap up here. Oh, Mike Honcho's out there, CRS Firearms. He's one of the biggest gun tubers on the platform. But on Saturday night, we are having what is called a streamathon from 8 p.m. to midnight. And it is going to raise money for PAD Dan. If you don't know, September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And my niece passed away last February of brain cancer. Dan's kid has stage 3 cancer in his muscle. So we are going to be doing a fundraiser for Dan, and all the money that we bring in, we're going to go right to the GoFundMe. And there's going to be a lot of prizes, P80 kits, SIG P320 kits, body armor, all sorts of really cool giveaway stuff, gift certificates. It's going to be incredible, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I just wanted to invite everyone out there for your chance to win something like a P80, in a Glock 26 or a Glock 17, Glock 19, SIG 320, P320, and a bunch of other stuff like that. I got this really cool backpack that you can't tell what it is, but within 3 seconds you pull the straps and you can pull it over, and it's like a level 3A plus vest. Then you can detach the backpack or leave the backpack on or whatever. But we're gonna be giving that away too.
I've seen that one. That one's pretty neat. I've seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it sitting right there, all ready for Saturday. So hopefully we'll raise a lot of money because cancer is very, very expensive. Even with insurance, it's still expensive because it doesn't take into consideration the loss of work and everything else, because you have to take a lot of time off. You go on family leave, but you don't get the money from your work and stuff like that. And it can get very expensive and very hard on the family. So we're just trying to make it a little bit easier on Dan. And yeah, and his kid, Liam, who is a great kid. And I put the link. Did I do it? No, I did it. I'm going to do it again, though, to all destinations. I'm going to put the link in the chat. So if you can't be there on Saturday and you want to give Dan a little bit of money to help his family out, go right ahead. The link is out there. And with that, I'm going to kick it over to Rich. Rich, tell everyone where they can find you.
Is this where you push the button, I disappear?
No,
I got to make sure because they did that to me yesterday. So flyingrich.com, youtube.com/flyingrich. And on the grams, it's Flying Rich.
All right, go ahead, Rich.
And don't forget Flying Rich Vehicles. I might be doing a live broadcast from Pembroke Pines, Florida.
All right, I'll stop messing with you, Rich.
I'm done.
No, you're going to be doing a live thing from where?
Pembroke Pines, Florida, for Supercar Saturday.
That's where they bring out all like the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris and the McLarens.
The Ferraris are low end there. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want a McLaren F1, but those things are millions of dollars.
Dude, how many are in your neighborhood? Oh, wait, I
McLaren's
forgot. You live
F1?
in the poor side of town.
McLaren F1s?
Yeah, there's only McLarens in John's neighborhood, not F1s.
No, there is a McLaren F1 in my neighborhood. A single one. I see it driving because you can tell because the guy sits in the middle. I don't know if you know what a McLaren F1 is.
I know.
They have 3 seats and the driver sits in the middle because it's supposed to mimic a fighter plane. There is one in my neighborhood. I don't know who owns it or anything. But
maybe an investigative reporter could figure that out, John.
Yeah. I don't think it's worth my time. Mike Concho says use your Amazon money. There was a rumor going around that I was one of the minority founders of Amazon, one of the minority owners of Amazon when it was founded.
That was the best rumor I ever started.
And everyone actually believed it. And people were like, why are you dealing with this guy? And people were like, what are you talking about? Don't you know he got rich off of Amazon, which now is violating your rights? And somebody asked me, I was like, I wish. I would be on a beach somewhere, probably. My private island, shooting machine guns, whatever. But no, it wasn't true. All right, Wren, thank you so much. If you guys want to support me out there, you go right ahead. You can go to patreon.com/John Crump because I don't have that Amazon money.
Wait, did we pimp Wren? Like, what, Wren? How to support Wren?
Yeah, he did. Well, we're going to do it again. We'll do it again. Wren, tell everyone how to find you again.
Yeah, WrenWilliamsVA.com. WREN. I really appreciate it, guys. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we try to keep it not too serious here, and we don't have like a set of questions. Sometimes we have like some politicians come on, they will know exactly what questions. Like, you can go anywhere. I don't know.
Yeah, when they told me I was going to do the podcast about guns, I was like, you mean I get to talk about guns for an hour? I was like, yeah, that's no problem. Easy.
Yeah, that's all we talk about here is guns. We sometimes we go into how stupid Biden is, but most of the time it's just guns.
Yeah.
Or we talk about rich crashing planes because last thing before we let you go. Have you ever met a guy that got into a car accident while flying a plane?
No.
Now you have.
On a highway? Did you land on a car on a highway?
No, I landed on a highway, and unfortunately, my landing speed's near 100 miles an hour. They're probably going about 30. So I was able to bleed off a lot of speed before I got there, but
yeah.
And then he also hit a house with the plane, 2 houses.
Can you still buy insurance?
That's a good question. I haven't.
And I lost the bet, so I had to go flying with them.
Yeah. Well, good. Keep it
All
up,
right.
guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
Alrighty.
Thanks to
meeting you,
everyone
man.
out there. The audio only version of the podcast will drop either later on tonight or tomorrow, and it's available at all your podcasting locations. And with that, I bid you adieu. I'll see you guys Saturday night.